Good afternoon, Tony Hayes, Paranormal Investigation UK. Today's date's the 3rd of August 2022 and the time is just 2 o'clock on a warm Wednesday afternoon. Right, this is part 2 of a series of experiments that have been conducted by a couple of friends. We dealt with part 1 a few days ago with Terry Slingsby. Today we're looking at another by Penny Wallace, who's based over in Somerset and works for Somerset Paranormal. The idea behind this is that you get a simple spiritual cone, for example. So if we look in the case of Terry's again, what he used was this device. And he simply just inserted a recorder directly into the trumpet and then did the recording. If we've got an issue with this particular one is because it's some sort of amplification or boosting was applied to the actual audio signal. So when I get that, one, all the metadata had been stripped away from it, and two, it was just so loud, it was difficult, so I had to do considerable amount of clean-up, noise reduction to make it manageable. What then transpired is, I can just go back to that recording, because I spent a lot of time. If you go to part 1, those who are visiting this YouTube channel, you'd be far better listening to part 1 first, before you come on to this part 2 segment. So this is the sound that was recorded when noise reduction was applied, considerable amounts of noise reduction, and I slowed it down by 50%. So let's have a quick listen to that. Okay, so given the circumstances of how the recording was taken, the sound should not be there. There seem to be multiple sounds or bits of voices. It's certainly within the voice spectrum, which is the reason why I'm so interested in this. It's very difficult to synthetically produce a voice within the human voice spectrum, and there appears to be very clearly defined difference between male and female voices which are in it. So it seemed to be multiple voices of different male and female, and it shouldn't be there. What I then did is I spoke to Penny Wallace, who's again become a friend over the last year or so. She is what I consider to be another EVP expert and knows a way with this. And I think with Penny's recordings is that when actual Sony device that she uses has been set up correctly, she's saving them as uncompressed WAV files, and results have been remarkable. So I spoke to Penny over the Terry Slingsby's experiment, and what Penny actually did, this just shows you how people can think at times, and I think it was credit to Penny that she came up with the idea of simply making one. And she said that it's just a simple cardboard tube with a recorder inserted into it, and then press record, put it into tube, sit back, and just to see if anything gets picked up. The difference with Terry's was done inside a property. Penny has done one outside a property within this particular area, which I know she's interested in, and I've dealt with a number of audio captures that she's got in this area. I'm not going to say that I don't really know where it is. I just know it's in Somerset. I'm not going to go any further than that because we don't want to compromise the site. So this is what Penny has actually got. Now what she actually said is that she actually just simply made the spiritual trumpet or an 8-volt cone and what I've got is the raw recording. So as far as the audio quality is concerned, this is a far better preference for this than the one that Terry did, although when Terry did it, it wasn't done necessarily as a proper test experiment. It was just done as we'll just see what happens if I try this type of thing. So this is what it sounds like on media player. Now in this particular area, I've dealt with, I think, one microphone strike. It's a particular type of phenomena which I've never been able to understand. So with any digital recorder, it's going to have a minimum of one microphone. And if it's just simply switched on through a card and left, say, for example, on the table, in this case, some sort of stone bench that's within this location, nothing should touch the microphone, particularly when it's inserted into a cone. Now, throughout the historical stuff of Edwardian and Victorian periods of time, the spiritual trumpet became the device everybody uses. It would be the SP7 of the Victorian period. The idea behind this, the medium that would be attending the seance would have this spiritual trumpet, and people that were witnessing the seance would often report hearing voices within the trumpet. Accusations that were then made towards the medium that she was using some form of ventriloquism. And then we start to hear reports of the trumpet actually levitating and the voices being emitted from it. Well, no ventriloquist is going to be able to levitate a trumpet, so it's not going to happen. So it seemed to be is that some where you're dealing with some form of spirit cabinet, as they're often referred to, in the case of spiritual trumpet, a container of some description. With the skull experiment that was done in the 1990s, Robin Foy used a glass dome, again acting as a form of a spiritual trumpet. So this is really what the experiment is about, where the idea is both Terry and Penny, they do not know each other. They don't even know where each one lives. So I'm going to keep it that way for some time. So are able to use both of these in experiment, and I'm also going to speak to my colleague Amanda Griffiths about doing a similar experiment over in Staffordshire. So we'd have 3 different people trying different experiments, maybe using different devices. So it looks to be that this form of containment, even though with the spiritual trumpet it isn't a closed container as such, something quite unusual and strange happens. So in a way, all I was doing is recycling a device that was used, 100 years ago, and these were incredibly popular. So I've already done one, which is part 1, which is Terry's, and now I'm going to deal with Penny's, which is part 2. Now, Penny's indicating it sounds like someone's moving about. Now, she's in this area on her own. She's just basically, and she's very, very good EVP analyst together with capture expert. She knows exactly what she's doing. She can deal with things, particularly she deals a lot of outside environment, how to eliminate wind noise, that type of stuff. So Penny, I would gather, knows what she's doing. So let's drop the sound of this into it.
Anybody wants to speak?
Let's find out how long it is. It's 2 minutes 8 seconds, and there are sounds, I can see that within it. In fact, there's a lot of sound. This is Penny talking, so there is a lot of sound there. Right, I'll just get some EQ up. I'm only actually going to initially use this is to amplify it. I'll stress again that I do use Rode microphone to do these videos. Itself has its own headphone socket. I use over-the-ear headphones, and it is fitted with amplification, so the levels I'm using will probably be a lot louder than what you can hear. So I do tend to turn everything up a little bit to ensure that you can in fact hear the same. If you're using mobile phone speakers or laptop speakers, that's absolutely not ideal. I always suggest that over-the-ear headphones is the way to go. Right, so let's fire this up. I'll turn it up as we go after Penny's finished talking. It's useful that Penny's spoken there, because what I am able to do, in fact what I'll do it now. I'll show you what I mean. Because the idea behind these videos is trying to encourage to other people to do the same. It's not about going out, doing an EVP, oh it says hello, stick it on YouTube, then move on to another one. It's about trying to analyse what's occurred. I'm trying to find out how on earth this type of phenomena is able to act. So if I can give you some help how to analyse yourself more, the better. Right, so why am I down here? I've got me way a little bit there. I know what I'm doing. Spectrum analyzer. Right, so listening to Penny's voice.
Anybody wants to speak or say hello?
So we can hear Penny talking there. It sounds like she's in a sort of a stony environment. You can hear the echo.
Anybody wants to speak or say hello? Anybody wants to speak or say hello?
Okay, that's quite handy that Penny's left that audio on there, because she's speaking into like a hollow area, stone sort of porchway really, and sounds bouncing off the walls. Now what's quite unique with electronic voice phenomena, EVP, is that when you begin to analyse it, a lot of that resonance disappears. I've never been able to understand how that can occur. What we do know is that if Penny's in close proximity, if someone would say a voice said hello, in principle she should hear it, but she doesn't. It somehow gets onto imprints itself onto the recorder by a method or means that we just simply don't understand. So because we've now got a sample of Penny within that environment, that's quite useful because we can see the spread of frequency.
Anybody wants to speak or say hello?
All over.
Anybody wants to speak or say hello?
Yeah, so that's quite useful. So I'll take the loop off, and what we'll do now, we're going to listen to all of it back. I may decide to start increasing the volume. Well, I've become interested in this section here. It's around 7,000 hertz. It's not a voice, but there seems to be a big jump in frequency. There. It's a strange frequency. Let's see if I can turn it down to a level, because it's not voice frequency, but it sounds voicious. See it there? You can also see it there, but there is no side frequency. Let me just put a marker on there. I'll call it 1. So we'll just find it again in a second. So if we go back to penny, and I'll show you what I mean by resonance that's missing.
If anybody wants to speak or say hello, while we're here.
That sounds like feet. So you can see the frequency spread is massive all the way running across when it happens, when you hear the sound. That's because the sound is bouncing off the wall. The sound thins out. So what you get is bass frequency together with other frequencies as sound is moving across, bouncing off stone, reflecting, and the microphone picks it up. You get this natural resonance is what you'd get to expect to hear. So when we then look at that first sound that Penny's recorded here, just loop that again. It changes. I'll just clear the pipes of this one. Go back to real. There. It's a big strike of frequency, no side frequency at all. And I've got the volume off. I don't know what that is. It's between 6 and 8,000 hertz. Google is a fan when it comes to just get that frequency right again. Yeah, 6 to 8,000 hertz. It's not one I'm familiar with, to be honest. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything. Yeah. When you're dealing with a frequency, I can't recall dealing with a frequency between 6 and 8,000 hertz. So it's just a question of trying to find and look at examples of that. And what we've actually got is, I think the fundamental frequency is about 7,500 hertz. When the fundamental is, where is the most of the frequency? It's that central pier there. And why I'm also incredibly interested in this one is there is no side frequency. So if for example, if I was in that and made a squeal sound, I'd expect to hear or see lows of side frequency, the resonance of sound bouncing up. It's not bouncing, it's just picked this up. So it's already in the territory of electronic voice phenomena. So let's go for 7,000 hertz. In fact, we'll do 7,500. Just a question of being patient and see if you can find something. Let's try 6,000. Yeah, we're into the sort of squealing, squeaking, glass breaking, whistles, that type of stuff. That's the one that Penny will be interested in because of the history of the location she's in. So undoubtedly, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to nail my hat, is that a scream? Let's turn it up. I'm going to use, it's certainly, I don't think, it's certainly not in the high frequency side. Let's use the standardized UQ that I use. You can see it, big peak. So what I can do is remove all frequencies around it. So it's on 0. So for those that want to follow this, we can see the fundamental is certainly, there's 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. It's just after 7,000 hertz. So we look at the EQ, we've got 6.3. So we can leave that alone. And what we do, we take all the other outside frequencies out of it. I'm going to start to turn it up as well. It will begin to get clearer. Yeah, the frequency is there. I can't hear anything. Get it's there. massive, because I've amplified this up. I'm on maximum now. I can hear like a machinery sound. But on the left hand side of my headphones, I can hear like a ripping sound. I don't know if you can hear that. Can't hear it there. Yeah, it's got louder now. Now, Penny mentioned it could sound like microphone strike. I think that's what she was saying. So, somebody moving around the porch, touching the recorder, and that's where it was. That is bizarre. In a way, let's have another listen. Okay, what I'm going to do now, the Rode microphone I'm using, as I'll show you a picture of it. So you've got a better indication what it looks like. That's the one. That's the microphone I'm using. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to scratch the actual filter in front of it using my fingernail. Now what I will do is I'll now try, get a pen, and I'll go down the front of the microphone which is there. So when we go to comparison of that, it's quite similar. The reason why, when I first heard it, because it's like, you could say it sounds a bit like a voice, but I knew it wasn't voice territory, not at that sort of frequency. So what I can do, or I think I can do, is the recorder section. When I do these videos, I generally do them live. So what I'm discovering now, you're discovering at exactly the same time, because I generally haven't listened to this audio before. I know Penny well enough to know if she sends me something over, it's normally something quite interesting, and this is an absolute classic case of an interesting Penny audio. Let's see if I can arm this to... Yes, I can. But you can also hear me talking. So what I'm going to do is remain quiet, and then I'm going to do two things. One, to record the front of the screen, which is there, and then the other one, the actual microphone itself. So I'll remain quiet for a couple of seconds. I won't talk. The first one's going to be the screen the actual pop filter itself, and the other one with the microphone itself. Okay, let's record this section. And there we've got it. Let's get rid of this silent area and shut off the arm track. I just want to put them close to that other one, and we can just compare. This is all part of the what to do with audio, how to get the best out of it, because what Penny's got there, what we can't lose sight of the fact, and this is absolutely critical, Penny has inserted a recorder into a cardboard trumpet and done nothing. That sound should not be there. Shouldn't be there, but it is. So your job is now to find out if there are rational reasons, or can we find any other reason why this is occurring. So let me just loop that section. We'll just play it back in two. The first area I'm going to look at is the first one of the actual screen itself. Certainly Penny sometimes uses a sock over the recorder to reduce wind noise. I'm pretty confident she didn't use it on this occasion, but she just inserted the recorder right into it, so it wasn't a screen as such like what I've got here. So let's see how we go with it. As you can see, it's nowhere near scratching of the it has brought some frequency there. Now this is what I mean about no resonance, because I'm putting the pen that I use to scratch the microphone surface, just run a pen up it, so the sound isn't responding off anything, reflecting off anything, because I'm right up close and personal to the microphone. But there is a peak of frequency there. What I'll do, I'll turn it up. Okay, so we can pretty well, you can see these reflections because the pop filter in front of the microphone is about 2 inches away from the main microphone. So as expected, we're not seeing any major similarities between that and the suspect one that Penny recorded. So we'll now go to the other one where I've actually put the pen across the maybe I should have used a finger really. Excuse me. Okay, turn that back down. It will get a bit louder now. Okay. So what we've got here is individual peaks of frequency. One at around 300 hertz, another one at probably 3,000, 2,500 hertz, one at 5, then one between 7 and 10. So if I took, what did I use before? What I'm actually going to save this EQ. I'm going to call it Penny Mike EQ, and I'm going to bring the same EQ into this one, so it's exactly the same. Use the same EQ setting on this track where I've just recorded to comparison to the one that Penny's done. Yeah, the one that Penny's recorded, it's a lot faster, isn't it? One. Yeah. Okay. Take the loop off. I think Penny may well be right that she's dealt with some form of microphone strike. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my finger. I'll try to do it pretty fast. Whoops. Get rid of that. Need to just mute that one. That's the sort of thing I'm going to do. It might have captured it, it might not have done. Let's find out if we have recorded anything. Yeah. And that's just rubbing my finger alongside it. No, finger hasn't done it. The accuracy is far better when right, get rid of that one. What I'm going to do is we'll flip to one to the other now. It seems to be some. I think Penny's right. There seems to be some form of microphone strike. I think where you've got to be careful with this type of stuff is when people say something's hitting the microphone, we it's naturally going to think it's like some sort of ghostly hand. I don't believe for a second that's how it works. I think it has to be some form of energy, manipulation of energy, and it's the energy blast that strikes the microphone that causes it to react the way that it does. Because as I'm talking, sound is travelling on molecules towards the microphone. It's a microphone that then picks it up and then calculates it into electronic impulses, and then that's where you get your sound from. So the sound actually getting onto the microphone, it's obviously going to differ to what we would normally think. So I'm going to leave them to unmuted, the ones below. In fact, as an exercise, what I've tried to do is just to find out if there was what could be the cause, and it's highly suggested that Penny is right with this. If the microphone was subject to some form of microphone strike. So let's listen to the rest of it. I'm actually going to take the EQ back off, go back to flat, just amplify it, and let's see if there's anything else in there. Because what Penny's indicating, not only is the microphone strike, somebody was walking about. I'm actually going to put a marker on that, call that 2. You can clearly see the sound there. That sounds more voicing, so let's use some EQ. I'm not so sure. It's the same again. It's the same frequency as that one. There you go. So there's 2 of them. Wow. It's the same. It's the same. I've never come across that before. This is why I find electronic voice phones so interesting and intriguing. You just never know what to expect, because what we've got here is the same sound. Subtle difference between the two, but generally it is definitely the same sound. That's incredible. Okay, go back to flat, turn it up, and we'll go see if there's anything else in here. The thing is, initially it sounded like a voice to me, but it's not. It's definitely not a voice. I can hear something there. I can hear something. The reason why I have a number of EQs set up is, for example, I've got EVP voice, male, veil, so on and so forth. That these are EQs have built up over the years. The one that I've got interested before is this completely different frequency that I'm used to dealing with. Between, around about 7,500 hertz is unusual. So that's what I call it, penny mic EQ. So if I do come across it again, I've got something I can immediately go back to. I don't have to spend about another 20 minutes trying to sort out the EQ for it. So if that is a voice in there, it's going to be within this frequency. I'll turn it up. It'll either get better or disappear. Right. There seems to be a voice, sounds female. I'm not sure how much you're going to hear on the device you're listening to. I'm on, like I say, I'm on amplified headphones over the ear, so I'm not going to miss anything. That sounds like a female voice. Who's there? Who's there? But I'm acutely aware of pareidolia, so I need to be careful. Let's see if we can be able to build up a picture of what frequency this is reacting to. I think it's reacting there. I don't know if you can hear that. It just sounds like a female. It just sounds like who's there. It's such low volumes. It's incredibly difficult. The more I amplify it, the more I begin to bring in natural background feedback, which is what you can hear, that in the background. I've taken as much as I can out of EQ, made it a little bit clearer. Right. That is bizarre. What I'm actually going to do with this, I'm actually going to save that as a separate track. Let's go back again. So I've just got it to work with a little bit later, because I'm quite sure Penny will be interested again as a voice. So what we've got at the moment is, I'll call that number 3. It's difficult for it to come up with a rational explanation, to be honest. We've got 2 what seems to be mic strikes, followed by this voice breaking in, female voice, who's there, that type of thing. Any opinions, it'll differ, often is the case. I'm saying I'm right for the moment. Just let us know in the comments. Okay, I'm going to listen to the rest of it now. I'll see how far I can get before something else comes up. That is microphone strike. I've heard that countless times. That is microphone strike. There's a degree of background noise in there as well. Blimey, this is going to be a long video. Nearly up to nearly an hour now. So definitely tapping sound there. But it appears to be under the threshold of the sound for some strange reason. Okay. There just isn't enough frequency there. Yeah, it sounds to me on headphones incredibly clear, very distinct tap. Yeah, that. It is the same, isn't it? Yet it sounds different. Sounds different to the others. That is super strange. You see the big blip in frequency. Sounds similar to a clock ticking. that type of thing. There's just not enough frequency within the stream to lock onto it and take a guess, because even if I dropped them all out, which you can do, now you can hear it clearly, can't you? Again, it is around call that 4. So what we've got is 3 strikes within the same frequency, sounding slightly different, plus the voice. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Right, okay. This is one of the strangest captures I think I've ever dealt with. What the hell is that then? There you go, there. It's the same frequency again. There you go, same frequency again. That's 4 of them. Right. That's the voice, I think. Yeah, that's the voice. That's not reacting to it. That is a definite voice, although really low volume. The other 4 are all the same. In fact, I can play them back to front, because there's number 1. Let's start with number 1. When the as the yellow line passes these, or close to these flags, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ignore 3 because that's the voice. You'll hear the same sound. First one, come to the second. This is the voice. I don't think you'll hear this one. There you go. They're all the same. Right, okay, let's move on to the next part. Back to flats. Whoops. What on earth is going on with this audio? Just placed a recorder into a cardboard tube, press record, and we've got all these weird, strange sounds occurring, except they're quite low volume. This one's quite loud. I've actually got the volume right off now. Yeah, there's a very distinct thump. So number 6 is the I'm actually going to call it 6 thump, because that's a thump sound. This is getting stranger. Okay, that's the loop off. There's somebody talking after. That sounds human. There you go, same frequency as before. There you go, same frequency. So you got the thump there, strike there. Blimey. So a 7, I'll call it 7 strike. Oops. Penny's going to absolutely love this, and I'm quite sure Terry's going to be interested in the results of this, because he's sat at home waiting with bated breath for me to do this one. Let's have another listen. That is strange. That is strange. We're a minute into it, and we've got 7 positive results. Okay, I don't want to rush this, so what I might do, let's just see how it goes. I might stop it and do it 2 hours because I'm aware just of the length of this video. There is some talking going on here. It sounds human as well. Human as in live people. It's just... yeah. Yeah, what I'm actually going to do at this point, because I need to ask a question, and I'll split this into part A, part B. This is going to be part A. There's voices there. I need Penny to re-listen to this and to tell me if she can say it's somebody, because we're a minute and 5 seconds into this. Yeah, somebody walked, I spoke to somebody, even though they spoke very quietly, the microphone is still potential picking that up. Or it's no, there is no rational explanation, because that's some sort of, that's a voice there. That's quite clear. That's got clearer. That's got clearer. There are various theories of why, for example, with rapping, the old cliche, one rap for yeah, one rap for no. You've got to give the spirits, the intelligence, what you want them to do, and it will take them some time to adapt. If it's because of lack of energy, boosting energy, whatever. It's just a theory. Without a theory, you discover nothing. So I'm not getting too spacey. There has to be some sort of energy involved here. So in the case of the rapping, when we did this in the case in Chester, initially it was a bit haphazard. It was about 70% positive results. It began increased to 90%, and the raps, for example, are you male? The rap, yes, for example, would then sound 8 seconds after the question was asked. As we got on for the second session, these were weeks in between we were doing this, it reduced to 5 seconds, then 3 seconds. So it seems to be, it needs to learn how to manipulate the energy or understand what it is that you're after. Although I do accept in the case of this recording, Penny's done, she's basically just left the recorder there, no instructions at all. But it may well be the container itself seems to maybe the missing link. The reason why I'm interested. Now it's disappeared. I've just used the EQ in a minute, so we know that it definitely isn't the EQ. It's not a microphone strike, it's something else. So if we go to EVP voice, yeah. To the voice out. So this is the point where I'm going to stop. So this is number 8. 8 catches in 1 minute of audio. Blimey. I'm going to call this 8 voice EVP question mark. So Penny can have a listen to that. I don't think about any other defaults I can use. I can use that one. No. The beauty about AVP, and one of the most intriguing aspects of it, is the guesswork involved with trying to decipher what it is being said. That sounds to me such as only one, only one, only one. So I'm going to stop at this point. I'm actually going to save this as well. Copy, because I've already saved a voice for Penny. Paste that in there. Then mute that section. Right, supposed to bring some EQ in. Why can't I hear anything? Ah. Yeah, it's there. The first one is quite low, incredibly low. The second one is much louder. So it may well be that it's this one that I need Penny to advise me on, which is number 8. This one here. That's the one that I need Penny to advise me on. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to make contact with Penny. I'll get her to obviously view the quite a ways a lengthy video. So it may take some days for Penny to actually do that, because that's quite a lengthy analysis so far. You know, it's taking me over an hour and 15 minutes, or 20 minutes to do 1 minute of audio, but we have analysed this first minute to death, and it's this last voice here that I need Penny, because it suddenly became clearer. Could that be someone who's in the vicinity? Penny will advise accordingly with that, and I'll report back on part 2 when it is that I come to it. I'll also send Penny the voice so she's able to keep repeating it if she needs to. So this is one of the most bizarre pieces of audio I've listened to in a long time. I had a similar conversation with Terry over the other one I did with him, that he's got multiple stuff going on, which I've not heard before. And like that is this one from Penny. These 8 captures within 1 minute of audio. Seems to be 6 identical microphone strikes. Unprecedented, that. I don't even recall having 2 within the same stream. I have 6 is remarkable. And they seem to be increasing in velocity, getting louder as it goes through. Likewise, and the 2 voices in there, one's very low, not too short, saying what's being said, and then we get the the one at the end, which sounds like only one, only one. Any comments, please let me know. But like I say, this is a simple method that was used of using a piece of cardboard, inserting the recorder into it, and this is where it was taken. That recording we've just analysed, this is where it was taken. What's going on? I have absolutely no idea. So I'm quite sure Penny will be chuffed with this capture. I've had some good stuff off Penny over the years, so this is top of the tree, this one. Okay, I'll see you on once Penny's come back to me. She had a chance to listen to it. It's going to take a while because the capture I've stopped at is right at the end of it. So she's got unfortunately she's got quite a bit of listening to do there, and I'll report back accordingly what Penny says in part 2. Okay, see you soon. Bye.